Hello and welcome to another episode of What to Know. My name is Amavi Gamon. Today we are discussing predatory lenders and the trick they use to take advantage of people. Today I'm joined by Alvaro Macias. He's the Vice President of Community Development at Central Credit Union. Alvaro, why don't you tell a little about what you do?
Thank you, Amavi. So at Ascentro, I'm in charge of our community development. Part of that is doing financial wellness, financial education in our community. So we work with a lot of community organizations, community partners to provide financial education and also to make sure that we reach out to different segments of our community so that everybody has access and information about financial services that they really need.
That's wonderful. Can you tell us what exactly is predatory lending?
Yes, predatory lending. Basically, it's any lending practice that imposes any unfair or unjust tactics or asks of those people who are taking a loan or borrowing. Some of the tactics that are utilized by these companies, these predatory lenders, are those of coerciveness. There may be a little unfair. They may impose unfair terms on individuals, and really they take advantage of people in tough situations. So they're really just no good for individuals, and and it's just not good all around.
Thank you. Okay, so what are some of the deceptive practices predatory lenders use?
Well, there are four main ones that I speak about when I do my presentations. I actually consider the payday loans the most popular one. There are so many payday lenders throughout our country, and the way they work is they do a loan for an individual that's supposed to be paid on their next payday, their next pay period from their work. So these are supposed to be short-term loans. They either pay them on the next pay period or next pay periods, but they tend to be very, very expensive. They really take advantage of the individuals who might just need a small dollar amount, $500, whatever that case may be, and they prolong with a lot of payments, and people can be paying a lot of money when you look at the interest that is accumulated. But the way they charge finance fees. So for instance, if somebody borrows $100, they might pay anywhere from $15 to $30 in finance fees. Somebody might say, well, that's not too bad, but it actually is, because that's about how much somebody might pay, let's say, for a traditional loan for $1,000 at a mainstream financial institution. So when in that short term, they're paying a lot for that loan. So they really take advantage of people who need small dollar loans. Then you also have the car title loans. So these are loans that are secured by the car that you might own. So if you have your car paid off and you have the title in your name, you can go and get a loan and secure it with that title. Now, they tend to be pretty high on the interest, and they give you two options if you don't pay. So one is they can do another loan, and they'll charge you for it, or they'll take your car. So that leaves people in a very tough situation. They really don't ask any information whether you can pay the loan, what other financial obligations you have. They don't ask about your credit. They really all care, they just care if you do have the collateral, which is that car. Because if you don't pay, they can keep it and sell it and make more money. Then you also have the contract mortgages. Now, these mortgages are pretty popular maybe with younger people who don't have great credit or might not qualify for a mortgage. They're also in the immigrant community, people might get a house under contract. The way they work is the owner of the house basically finances the house for an individual, and those rates that they impose are a little higher than our normal rates, and they also ask for a huge down payment or upfront fee. Now, this is not refundable. And unfortunately, there's been studies done in certain areas that show only about 20% actually come out of that contract period successfully. Because in that contract, they might say you have up to 5 years, maybe 3 or 7. It's up to the person financing it. they can say that you're going to give them a balloon payment that basically pays for the whole thing. And if you don't, you basically don't fulfill your end of the contract, and they get to keep the house, or they might be able to negotiate again. But really, you're out of all that money that you paid up front, and anything you did to the house to fix it up, you're out of that money, putting somebody in a tougher situation because now they lost all that money and they might have to rent anyway. So you're better off just renting until you qualify for a mortgage through a mainstream credit union or a bank. And then finally, there's also the rent-to-own stores. Now, these rent-to-own stores, folks might not realize how much they really charge for these products. They entice people by offering them the products now at a low weekly or bi-weekly payment. So, for instance, if you need a refrigerator, they might give you a price that says it's only $15 a week, right? But when you add it up, it could end up costing you about $2,400 to buy a refrigerator. Well, you might end up being able to go to the store and find that for like $700. So it really, people who don't know or might not have the money are really putting themselves in a situation that they're paying a lot more for certain furniture, electrical items, TVs, you name it, and they pay a lot more. So all of these services I consider to be abusive and unfair to those who take those loans.
Wow. How are these legal?
Yeah, that's a great question. A lot of people ask that. But unfortunately, they operate with a different set of standards than traditional banks and credit unions. One reason that they justify their existence is they say that they help people who a bank or a credit union might not be able to help. But while that may be true for some people, it's not true for everybody that goes in there. Just a lot of people might go there and they don't know they do have good credit and they could get a loan or a credit card to take a small loan or to buy furniture or a TV. So, so unfortunately, while they are legal, I do know that there are certain states that are imposing laws to limit and cap how much they can charge when they finance these products. So they are truly taking advantage of a lot of folks, and while they are helping a few people, they're taking advantage of a lot more people.
Thank you. So what should people do instead if they are in a situation where they are looking into these services?
Yes, well, first, learn about what their practices are. Read the fine print. If you are in there, a lot of times people just don't know what options they have. So educate yourself on this. Watch your shows, watch your videos to learn more about what people shouldn't be doing. But one thing people can do to be a little more proactive is build a relationship with a trusted financial institution, ideally a credit union, because we're locally based. Credit unions are owned by the members who are part of the credit union. So there's a higher expectation and level of service there. So build a relationship with a credit union, some of the staff at a credit union that you can call and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. It doesn't feel right. What do you think? Because you'll find that, you know, whether it's a financial coach or a loan officer, somebody could help guide you in that. And a lot of times people just don't have that in their lives. They don't have somebody they can turn to that does this every single day. But you just build a relationship, and in doing so, set yourself up so that you don't have to rely on predatory lenders. You can use financial products from a not-for-profit credit union. And they can also help you to start an emergency savings so that you're not in the situation that you have to tap into these predatory lenders. And then finally, be your best advocate. It is really up to you to be a savvy consumer, to know the difference between a practice that's going to take advantage of you and your situation and a practice of financing that is fair and just. So be your own advocate. Talk to people that you know around your circle and ask questions. But yeah, those are all good tips that people can put into practice so that they can not find themselves dealing with these predatory lenders.
Yes, that's great information. Thank you so much, Alvaro, for sharing your knowledge with us today. And for you at home, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. and check out our other videos on how to make smart money moves in America. We will see you next time. What to know? Because knowledge is power.